This training series is entitled Binging and Googling. We're going to learn about obtaining information in volleyball. Search engines such as Google, Bing, and Yahoo are widely used for the purposes of research as well as gathering information. Volleyball officiating requires a great deal of information to be acquired and deciphered. This information is used for officials to be in the best possible position to make accurate rulings. Most of this information can be obtained during dead ball events in volleyball. However, some of this information can be obtained and used during live ball. In this particular training series, we're going to learn about obtaining that information and applying information for officiating in volleyball. Sources. So, where do we begin to obtain such information? We can obtain the information from our first referee, our second referee, line judges, or scorekeepers, the players, the attack line, the center line, and the net. When? So when do we obtain information during dead ball? How about shared timed warm-ups? Warm-ups, lineup checks, between rallies, awarding the point. When? When do you obtain such information during live ball? After the beckoning for serve, after the first hit, after the second hit, after the third hit. Results. So what information can we and will we obtain? Who our setters are, who our liberos are, defensive specialists, primary back row players, usually our defensive specialists, primary front row players, left-handed players, jump servers, players and their opposites, substitution patterns, libero replacement patterns, alignments, back row attacks, legal and illegal, blocking, legal and illegal, in or out, touch or no touch, net faults, centerline faults, and tenant faults. Pancakes, whether they're good or not, defense of the teams, and offense of the teams. We're going to put an asterisk and we'll dive into that later. Lights, camera, action. Prior to the start of this high school varsity match, both teams shared the court for warm-ups. The head coach on the left is working with what seems to be the setters for this particular match, number 9 and number 12. So the information we gathered from here, besides the setters, that the team may either run a 5-1 or 6-2 offense. Now we're actually looking at the serving team's warm up. We see that number 13, who is one of the hitters, is left-handed. 9 and 12 are the potential setters for this match. So from the warm-ups, we can gather that the team may either run a 5-1 or 6-2 offense. As we conclude this snippet of the video, we can see number 13, who just attacked the ball, is left-handed. At collegiate and higher levels, there's a concept employed by our line judges called warming up their eyes, where they go to their specific corners to see the speed of the ball, seeing the ball hit, and preparing for the match. That includes seeing the ball hit the playing court, the end lines, the sidelines, out of bounds. Notice that in warming up their eyes, our line judges take their normal line judge positions that they will have during the match. They will also observe the ball potentially hitting the net, possibly the antenna. This gives our line judges and even our first and second referees an opportunity to gauge potential passers in this upcoming match, gauging setters, and gauging our hitters. Let's take a look at the information we can gather during lineup checks. And boy, is it a doozy. So we see that the libero goes in for number 13. And our libero will start at the right back. Thanks to our observation at warm-ups, we know number 3 is our setter. And through this lineup check, we know that she is starting at the right front, and the left back is her opposite. Our left front is the libero's opposite. And here we have our middle fronts and middle backs who are opposites. We see that the receiving team will start the match in rotation 6. All this information gathered from a combination of warm-ups and a lineup check. Our libero will go in for number 18. The libero, as you can tell by the alignment, will start at middle back. Number 6, through a combination of warm-ups, observation, is the setter starting at right back. The left front is the setter's opposite. The middle front is the libero's opposite. And the right front and left backs are opposites. We know that our serving team must be in rotation 1. So warm-ups and lineup checks can give us information about alignments, rotations, and players, their statuses, as well as their opposites. Let's take a look at live ball observations, beginning with the beckon for serve. If the server gives you enough time prior to the server's contact for a quick scan, our referees and line judges have the opportunity to scan alignments, rotations, players, getting to know their statuses and their opposites. So our setter for the serving team is the middle back. So we know based on that our serving team is rotation 2. A setter for the receiving team is right back. Thus we know that the receiving team is in rotation 1. All the information that we get between rallies when the ball is dead, we can also get on the beckon for serve if our server allows us time. We can get information about alignments, rotations, and players. The setter for the serving team, in this case, is the middle back. Thus, our serving team is in rotation 2. The setter for the receiving team is also middle back. Thus, the receiving team is also in rotation 2. For scans between rallies and prior to service contact, we can put the puzzle together with players and their opposites. Play. We're going to watch the first referee do an excellent job of gathering information from the line judge prior to awarding the point. As the ball hits the playing court, we see that our first referee scans toward line judge 2 to make an accurate out ruling. This next play shows our first referee gathering information from our line judge prior to awarding the point about it in or out rule. This next play shows our first referee gathering information from the line judges and the second referee, whether the ball is saved via pancake or where did it contact the playing court. This next play shows our first referee doing an excellent job of gathering information from the line judges and the second referee about the ball either contacting or going outside the antenna. These next several plays will show the first referee doing an excellent job of scanning both line judges as well as the second referee before awarding the point regarding touches or no touches, whether they're obvious or not so obvious. Let's return to gathering information during dead ball events. So in this event, we have the libero replacement, where the libero was not serving. We gather all sorts of information from this replacement. We see that 7 will serve and become the right back. 5 comes in, becomes the left front. The libero leaves. In this next dead ball event, we have a libero replacement for the same team in white. But this time our libero will be serving. We will see that 7 will come in, become our left front. 5 will leave, and our libero will serve, obviously becoming our right back. Thus, we know everything we need to know about our serving team and their opposites. We know it via the libero replacement, the setters, and the remaining 2 players. Now let's talk about substitutions. Because substitutions occur between rallies, we should be able to gather a lot of information here. In this particular case, 10 comes in for 3, and 10 becomes the left front. We get time to analyze the alignments, time to analyze the rotations, and time to analyze players and their opposites. Let's take a look at another dead ball event involving substitution. In this case, number 2 will come in for number 14, where number 2 will become the right back and go to serve. Substitutions always give us adequate amount of time to analyze information about teams. In this particular substitution play, 6 will go in for 8. 6 will serve, become the right back, and become our setter. 17 will go in for 15, and 17 will become the left front. Now let's go back to live ball play. So prior to the beckoning for serve or during the beckoning for serve, we've had time to look at alignments, rotations, and players. We know that our setter is left back, thus our serving team is in rotation 3. Our receiving team setter is middle back, thus our receiving team is in rotation 2. And we know our players and our opposites. As hit 2 is being completed, which is an overhand set by our setter, you see our receiving team and their base defense? We can gather that our back row setter is near the right sideline behind the attack line, and our libero is behind the attack line near our left sideline. This is standard base defense for most teams. Now, following the attack, you see that our back row setter is forced to get hit 1, which means our libero has the overhand set for hit 2. So our libero's feet location on the floor is extremely important in relation to the attack line. By rule in this play, our libero overhand sets the ball behind the attack line. So there are no restrictions for our front row attackers. So as hit 2 is being completed, let's take a look at our receiving team's defense. Our back row setter for Kentucky is behind the attack line near the right sideline, while our libero is near the left sideline behind the attack line, which is standard base defense for most teams. At the end of this play, our first referee does a good job of gathering information from our line judges, whether the ball contacts the floor or is saved by our front row player. In this play, our setter for our serving team is middle back, so our serving team is in rotation 2. Louisville is running a 6-2 offense. Our setter for Kentucky is left front. Thus, our receiving team is in rotation 4. Kentucky is running a 5-point offense.
Oh yeah. The emotional aspect. Absolutely.
Take a look at receiving team's defense at this moment. Our front row setter will serve as the right side blocker. Our libero is behind the tack line near the left sideline. Now we have to know if our particular attacker is a front row or back row player. Our player in question is back row. So now her feet and the attack line both come into play. And as always, prior to awarding the point, our first referee does a good job of gathering information from our line judges and second referee. Thank you for spending part of your day or night with us. We hope you gained something very valuable from this particular training series entitled Binging and Googling. Have a great day, great week, great month, great year, great season.